I am who I am today because of the investment of this community. And so I made a decision to serve people, to serve God first, and then to serve people. And so that's why I'm currently pastoring the church that I grew up in, something that I never imagined. But it's because of my driven desire to serve residents, to serve people. And so that's what I believe that our community has missed. That we've been planning development, we've been building buildings, but we haven't been building the people. And so that's my initiative, is to build the people of Dania Beach so that they can see it, live it, and love it. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm very honored to be here this evening to speak in front of all of you. My name is Jessica Spears, and I have been in this area since 1987. I have two children, Mason and Bailey. They have gone to schools here, they've worked here. I'm very proud of Dania Beach. I love Dania Beach. Okay, so accomplishments that I have made, and I'm very proud of what I've done here in the city. I had the opportunity to have my own and my own business, which was a hair salon in Dania Beach on Federal Highway, a very small shop that I had taken from a baby shop to a hair salon in day spa. Renovated the shop. During that time, I had the opportunity to join the Chamber of Commerce, which helped me build my business. I served with the Dania Beach Chamber of Commerce for 19 years. My previous positions were chairperson, vice chairperson, secretary, and treasurer. Business to business really helps our community sustain business and help our small businesses grow. I also helped implement the textile bins here in Dania Beach. And those are the bins that you see currently in the city. They say clothes and shoes. And this helps our community, helps the city as well. But this is for people that want to get back on their feet and go back to the workforce and help their families. Very important. I am happy to say that I have also been a member with the Lions Club, the Women's Club, and the Seniors Club. I volunteer a lot of my time, and I'm very proud to serve our friends here in Dania Beach. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lori Llewellyn. I am your current commissioner and former mayor of the city of Dania Beach, running for re-election. I see a lot of familiar faces here tonight. It's good to see you all come out to hear from the candidates. I am a product of a single parent family. My mother raised me by herself, worked 2-3 jobs at a time in order to do that, which is what I learned to do as well, and I've done that my entire life. I don't think there's ever been a time where I've only worked one job, and I continue to do that today. I worked my way through high school, college, and law school, and am currently a practicing attorney. I am also a homeowner and a business owner in the city of Dania Beach, and I have a great deal of investment in this city because it means a lot to me, and it's important to me to be invested in the place where you live. I also, as I said, have been serving for the last nearly 4 years now, and I'd like to continue to serve and earn your vote to continue to be your commissioner. Thank you.
My name is Morris Goldwire, 42 years old. I've been serving in the community for 20 years. I have all sorts of things, so I plan on to continue serving this community as I get elected.
All right. Okay, Mr. Is it Goldwire? Okay, you can pick the mic back up because I'm gonna start with you.
All right.
And the first question, this is for everybody now, and it's just a general question. But it says, holding the position of city council person comes with a great deal of responsibility and integrity. How will you provide truth and transparency to your constituents in both public and private relationships with consistency? And we're gonna start with you.
Yes, I'm a big person on transparency and anything that you do. You always have to just start with the residents and let them know what's going on, so that nothing will be a surprise. And the same thing with the commission. As I been a part of this community for a long time, I have already worked with the past mayors and commissioners and things of that nature. So I'm real big on transparency and definitely being honest with the residents, as I am a resident and I live in this community and I have for a long time.
We're gonna go to, I can't see the name, so we're gonna go to Lori.
Yes.
Okay, Lori.
Thank you. Well, I think anyone who knows me.
Thank you, sister, helping me out. Okay, Lori, you can start over.
I think I have been really transparent with the community throughout the last 4 years and beyond that. Most people that know me do know that, people that don't know me know that they pick up the phone and call me, if they text me, if they send me an email, I respond. I'm happy to come out and talk about any issue. I have held private meetings outside of the commission in order to help talk to people about specific issues that are going on, in order to try to educate everybody as to what is happening and make sure everybody understands the different things that are happening. The RAC was one of those issues, in fact, the Regional Activity Center. I know it was very confusing and it wasn't communicated well at all by the city. And so that was something that I felt needed to be addressed privately and before we got to the commission to discuss it. So I did that. And as I said, if you pick up the phone, people pick up the phone all the time. I see several people in here who know they can just call me, text me anytime, day or night, and I do respond, and I'm honest with people. So I've been very consistent in every decision that I make.
Okay, thank you. Jessica.
Okay, with that being said, I've been in the community for quite some time, and I listen to the people in the community on certain issues, but I think we all need to be more informed from the commission, the city, on issues that are really not being addressed, and to make sure that everybody understands what's really happening here. I also have concerns about the safety here in safety, sorry, probably hot flash, but
I don't know what to do with that.
We also need to protect our environment here, and everybody needs to have input, so that way I can help address. If I don't know the information, I'll definitely find out. All I would need from everybody here would be contact, phone number, and email, and I will try my best to resolve any issues and try my best to inform you on what I understand what's happening.
Thank you. So working your way through.
I would say integrity and honesty are very important. I use them in my day-to-day operations on the school board, as well as being a pastor. I think my motto is, before somebody have a question about it, you should bring them. I use this strategy in my preaching. I try to answer questions before they're already asked. So I think a part of what the community is missing is the transparency and being known, being made aware of what is happening. I think a lot of the times, and I've witnessed it, going to the commission meetings, being a part of those things, residents are voicing their opinion about things that are happening that they're unaware of. How many people knew that there were so many projects going on in the city for drainage, right? There's a lot of things that are happening and they already may be targeted, but nobody is being informed. I was sitting talking with somebody before, and I think it was Mr. Bird. He would host town halls. He would host, if there was something that he knew was not right happening in the community, He would get people to come to the commission meetings, to voice their opinions. We have one commissioner that said, hey, just because a few people are saying something doesn't mean that that's what I'm gonna go with, right? The majority of people that live in the city of Dania Beach don't have the time, don't have the wherewithal to be at the meetings, to understand the minutes that are put on the website. So it is our job as the elected officials to explain. If you have to go one by one, hosting meetings in every community because it's at large seat. So we have a big responsibility. You're in charge of making sure that every constituent that calls you their commissioner, calls you their mayor, calls you their vice mayor, can hold you accountable and you can give them an answer. And I'm one that I'm not afraid to say, I don't know, right? Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I made a bad decision. I'm not one to not account for my actions, right? But I will figure out a way to get it solved.
Mr. Agent?
Thank you. Well, yes, when it comes to communicating what's going on in the city, transparency is everything. It has to come on citizens, though, to want to understand what's going on in their city. And the city needs to make the information very available. I know we have a lot of information available on the website, but we should still give them maybe a crash course how to operate the website. When it comes to communicating to them in a mass way, we have, with social media and everything, the way to communicate with the audience publicly is through the newspaper, through social media. There's multiple avenues that you can take. When it comes to privately communicating with citizens, in my job, look, bad news doesn't get any better with time. So I have no problem telling you the bad news. All right, good news, anybody talk about good news and all the good things that are happening right away. When it comes to bad news, I can deliver that just as well, and then we can sort it out, discuss the problem, what we have to do. But it does come to volunteering and it comes to participation. How can we increase that participation? Maybe we can have more community events. We can have more bulletins being posted on City Hall. We can have more bulletins being posted on the website. You can send out mass emails to people and the residents who want to sign up for it. So there's multiple ways we can communicate, but the biggest thing is being approachable. These people take a lot of time out of their days and they have to come up with a case to go in front of the commission to present their problem. I don't want to just have them be blown off or treated or felt like their issue is unimportant compared to everybody else's. Your situation is interesting to me. It's unique to me and it's important to me. No matter who you are in the city, if you're a resident of Dania Beach, I don't want you to be disenfranchised. I want you to be represented properly by your commissioners. Thank you.
I'm glad this question was asked. Let me tell you my rendition of transparency. My rendition of transparency is you don't meet with a builder before you send them out there to your people. I don't believe in it, and I've carried that for 8 years, and you may get some grins up here, but I will stick to that in the future. To the point it got, and when the builder came up at the commission meeting, the first thing he did when he got to a microphone was laugh. And I knew what he was laughing over. I said, all right, sir, I would like to know, before you present anything, did you meet with the people? Because you come first. You come first before the builders. You come first before the commission. You come first before anybody. And a lot of times they talk, but they're not listening. You can see that every day out there. And I just say to them, all right, one was a special guy there. He's always in the commission meetings, and he always is standing up there and he gets to laugh. So laugh, I don't care. No, I won't even talk to you on the phone. I had Bob Poland say, I'm sorry, but she doesn't want to meet with you at such and such a restaurant. She doesn't want to meet with you anywhere, and that is her prerogative. She doesn't have to. She believes in you meeting with the people first. And I sent one particular builder 5 times west of Dania Beach, west of Federal Highway. And why did I send him 5 times? Because he came back with the second time and he's saying, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I said, oh, wow. But when you left, were they happy? No. Oh, well then, you know something, Mr. Bailey? Oh, I'm sorry. go back. So you all remember this incident. He'd come back again. And he's up there again, he does his little laugh, like they all like to laugh at me, but because they're gonna hear the truth. Transparency to me was, he went to you, then he came to me. And if he reverses it, just like these builders that are building out there now, you don't see them living here, do you? Where do they go? Back where they came from. Back where they came from. What did they leave you with? A headache of traffic. And not only that, and I'm sorry to say the mayor's building, a swimming pool that you did not buy is now in your living room. So what did they leave? I'm sorry.
Maybe you didn't hear the bus. Speaking of no problem, I offered you some grace. So.
Oh, and I was blessed.
All right, we're back on track. Our next question is regarding vision. We're gonna start with Lori, and then we'll end with you, Mr. Goldwire. All right, I'm gonna combine these, so you're gonna have 2 minutes now. 2 minutes, and you better turn that thing up. Okay. You're gonna have 2 minutes, but I'm gonna give you kind of a two-part question here. Do you have a vision or strategy for the pain in the community regarding gentrification and property taxes? Okay, so we're gonna start with Lori.
Okay. So unfortunately, property taxes have been going up. And that is because the property values are all going up. And that's not just here, that's everywhere. Everywhere in South Florida right now. I do believe that it is at some point in time going to level out. In fact, I'm starting to see some of it now where it's starting to level out a little bit, and it should be a little less for us. The only taxes that we are impacted in Dania Beach are the millage rate. And that millage rate has not been increased in something like 11 or 12 years. So it's not the city that's doing that. It's not the commission that's doing it. It is the property values. It's also some of the other taxes from other entities and throughout the county. There are definitely some programs. I've been working with the property appraiser on doing some more communication, education with the community. We do have the property appraiser coming to City Hall once a month right now. They're going to continue doing that as long as possible because there's a lot of people that don't even realize that they have exemptions that are available to them and other programs that are available to them. I went myself and I found out that there were some things that I didn't even know that I was eligible for. So I'm trying to do things like that and bring some other options to people aside from just simply lowering the millage rate because that's really not going to benefit anybody. We've already run the numbers on this and even just lowering it slightly, we lose a ridiculous amount of revenue and it doesn't really have much savings for the individual homeowners. Gentrification is a problem. We've already seen some of it occurring. When Native Point came in, that definitely started happening. It's unfortunate. What we really want to try to do is build up the people that live in the community and give people more opportunities. So, guys, just real quick, just making more jobs available through some of these businesses and educating people more and giving them more opportunities, I think will allow us to try to reduce or at least mitigate some of the gentrification that is happening.
Thank you, Jessica.
Okay, as discussed just now, as property values increase, taxes are increasing, where are some of these people going to live? I rent Dania Beach, and as my rent goes up, I don't want to leave Dania Beach. I don't want to be pushed out of the city. I've been here for several years, and affordable housing, we have to look into that as well. And I really don't have too much to say on this issue, but that's pretty much where I'm going. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Thomas.
I agree that both of these are big issues, and not something that just Dania Beach is facing, but as for Dania Beach, Mr. Marty, the property appraiser, was here at our city commission meeting, giving reports and letting people know of the things that were available to them, tax exemptions and all of that, especially for our seniors, a lot of programs. But again, it is the issue of that information that is there and available getting to the people who need it. So we, as the city, would have to do a better job in getting that information to the people that need it. Advising them, hey, this is what's going to be happening at our city commission meeting. Utilizing the resources that we have, whether it's the Dania Press, Facebook, all of those things, a blast, text blast, an email blast, getting that information to our residents so that they could benefit from those tax exemptions. Gentrification is an issue that our city is facing. I was talking with one landowner who has rentals, has a plethora of rentals in the city. And he said that he's competing with all of the big buildings, the high rises that are going up. And because his taxes are going up, he has no other choice but to raise the rent of the people that live there. But if we extended some kind of courtesy, some kind of exemption to those people that are landlords, that own property, to say, hey, if you help your leasing out with something, grant or what have you, to keep their rent at whatever it is, then this is what you'll benefit from the city. But we have to make sure that we look into those things, find resources, because there are things out there, but we just have to find them.
Thank you. Ms. Angel.
Yes, when it comes to, I'll address the tax issue first. Yes, our millage rate has always been low, it hasn't raised in a while, but with the new development coming up, that raises our tax base. And so, what I say is, why not? We could lower the millage rate with the increased development that we have all around us, because our tax base is going up. When it comes to property taxes, yes, of course your property taxes go up when the property values go up. And when you purchase new property, you no longer get that grandfathered in rate. So when you buy a new house, for $600,000 today, you're not going to get the same tax rate that you got when it was $200,000 in 1995. So I think we can handle that by balancing the increase in taxes. And yeah, property appraisals come in the city hall in there, they have a little booth set up. You could get exemptions for reasons, being disabled. You get your homestead exemption. A lot of people don't even get their homestead exemption. You could be a veteran, you get benefits. So there's a lot of opportunities available to those looking for a tax exemption. And you could also get your property reevaluated and see if your tax rate is lower. When it comes to gentrification, that is a big issue. It's a big issue in America. It's been an issue for a long time. It used to be done with practices like redlining and blockbusting. Now it's basically prices. It's economics. That's what's causing gentrification. People can't afford to live in their neighborhood. They can't afford to rent in their neighborhood anymore. People that have been there for generations. And to control that, like I said, maybe we could give some incentive to those landlords who are willing to rent at a lower tax rate. Keep the community tight-knit. Look at Fort Lauderdale, of what happened over there. That whole neighborhood was gentrified north of Broward Boulevard. And it's changed. Some say for the better, some say for the worse. It's certainly different, and it has a unique look to it. It's not that historic, Sistrunk Boulevard that we knew. So I don't want that same thing to happen here in Dania Beach and just be blown out for more development and overdevelopment. Thank you.
I feel that on the gentrification issue, that we have to work some out. First of all, you need 3 votes. I don't care what the issue is. If you don't have the 3 votes, you're not going anywhere. And that's been a big problem with our mayor. And she'll stand alone. She doesn't mind. She's got that nerve, and I love that fight in her. But she'll stand alone, just like I will too. I don't care if I'm the only one vote up here that says no. That's where the transparency comes in. But I want to tell you something, when all these buildings are being built by these builders, there's not enough interest right now, I feel, being put into these buildings, like the incentive, like to keep the rates low. Because I'll tell you, what's affordable to you might not be affordable to her. And they have to be affordable for the people that live here. You can't forget our past, and you can't forget that the future's coming. And so far, it doesn't look that great to me, so when we get to that part, you're gonna get a shock. But I'm telling you, go when the property appraiser is at City Hall, ask your concerns. But the one question that you should ask yourself is, why, with all of this wonderful things that are supposedly going on here, isn't the millage rate even dropped 0.5%? Not even 0.5% with all that we brought into this city? Why? That's your question. And you know what? I can't answer it, but I bet you I would have been the only one up there saying no.
All right, well, you need good.
Well, it's
Okay, next question.
Daniel,
Oh, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Chief, cut me off. Go right ahead, sir, go right ahead.
Well, I gotta say, I agree with, Chickadee on that point. Number one, we always gotta be, transparent, but hold the developers accountable and make them pay. Make them pay. She's right, all this development going on, we should have been making them pay so that it won't be so hard on us. So I agree with that part 100%. She took the words right out of my mouth. That's why I grabbed the mic earlier when I was up here, but it wasn't my turn. But it's a lot of things we can do to definitely fight that, because I'm definitely against gentrification. We got to focus on low-income housing too. Low-income housing, not just affordable housing, but low-income housing, so nobody won't be displaced. Because we got elderly community, disabled community. We have to focus on the elderly and disabled. If we want to keep the community as a whole, we have to think about the elderly and the disabled. So with that being said, hold the people accountable that's in office, and hold the people accountable that's doing all the building.
All right, thank you, sir. Is that a follow-up?
No, it's not, Pastor. I
Okay.
actually have, and I apologize, and I did speak to Patrice about this in advance. We were just told about this event last week, and I actually had another commitment that's been scheduled for over a month. But I wanted to come here in person, I wanted to answer some questions, and I wanted to talk to everybody in person, which is what I have done. Unfortunately, I'm getting yelled at on text right now.
Okay,
I need to leave.
Would you like to give us your close?
Sure, realistically,
2 minutes.
Again, I appreciate. Okay, I appreciate, you all taking the time to come here tonight, and I appreciate you listening, and asking questions. Please feel free to call me if you have questions of me. My phone number is 954-224-2290. I will leave cards as well so that you can call me. I love the city. I want us all to prosper. I want to see good things happen for everybody who lives here. This is a small town that's growing, but it's still a small town. We can still be a small town, and that's because of the people that live here. And that's something that I see every day. We still see our neighbors in Publix or Aldi's or wherever anybody goes. You see each other at the pharmacy, you see each other everywhere. And we need to keep that small town feel, and that's what I really want to see us continue to do. So even if there is progress, it's still an opportunity for us to be a family and a community and still work together for the greater good of the entire city. So,
Thank you.
and again, I do apologize, but this was literally planned for well over a month, so.
Okay. Jessica, we're gonna start with you. This deals with the parks And the question is, if any, what plan of action would you take in the investment and redevelopment for the parks and recreation centers in the northwest, west side community of Dania Beach?
Well, that's a very good question. Parks and recs have to maintain their standards, keep the parks renovated, make sure that the greenery and the commitment to the community is well informed with upcoming events. What else? The environment is very, very important to the residents, our community, and well, not just parks, but you can do waterways, just the environment itself. We have to maintain what we have and invest in our budget to make sure that this definitely comes to fruition. And
Thank you.
Can you restate the question for me?
The question was, this is regarding your strategy, your plan, if you have one. They want to hear what's your take on investment and redevelopment for the parks and recreation centers in the northwest, west side community of Dania Beach.
So there is, as you all may know, or many of you should know, that there is a groundbreaking happening at CW, I believe October 12th or something of that sort, where the park is going to get totally redone. A whole different new $1 million construction is going on at that park, which is something that I believe this community could benefit from. What I would like to see is just a lot of the programming happening in that city, mentorship happening in our city, city-run mentorship program happening in the city. I think you have to focus on, because it's an at-large seat, you have to be aware of what that particular community needs. And I see that this community needs a lot of mentorship, needs a lot of programs, needs a lot of career development, all of those things, so that, like the previous question, that we could benefit from the things that's happening in this community. Spirit Airlines is coming, and I believe that a lot of our residents will be able to take advantage of a lot of the jobs and other opportunities that are coming to the city. But I think once it gets done and all of those things, programming, a lot of programming, a lot of development. I remember as a kid that we had a portable outside of Modella. We had a portable outside Modella where people could go in, write resumes, get help with writing resumes, all of those things. And I think those are the things that need to come back to our community, because some people don't have the wherewithal to make it to college or to go and get all those things. So bring those things to the community so that we don't get gentrified and they can benefit from what is happening in the community.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I work right down the street, 34 Northwest First Ave. My office is right across the street from the post office. So I drive in the northwest section of Dania pretty much daily. And yes, CW Thomas Park is getting a makeover. It's a long time past due, actually. This should have happened a while ago, but it's good that it's finally getting done. It's actually a beautiful park right now, how it stands, so it's going to be interesting to see the improvements. PJ Melly Park, also, I know that they have plans to improve that park. I'm not sure of the extent of the plans, but it's a rather large park, also in good shape. So when it comes to those, yes, mentor and youth programs are good, but there's not that big of an Optimist sporting program in Dania Beach. I know we have the Dania Beach Dolphins, but it's not too large a football program compared to other ones in Broward County, considering how popular football is down here. That's just an example. PJ Melly, we haven't had a baseball team there in I think like 30, 40 years. And it's just a baseball park city. So we could do a lot with that land. There has to be some type of development we could do there. Maybe we could build a track there and you could have more track programs. I know that the swimming program over there is very good. And yeah, CW Thomas, they have Dania Beach Dolphins. And hopefully my son could play for them one day. Hopefully that program stays intact, because I know it's had some ups and downs lately. So yeah, it would be more community engagement, more youth sports in those parks, because that's pretty much what those parks are. They're for the youth to have fun, to engage, to let a little steam off after school, and, to strengthen themselves as a community. So, the parks that I mentioned are very integral into those neighborhoods, and we definitely need to focus on improving them and improving the programs and sporting events involved with them. Thank you.
In another way, I'm kind of like involved in these parks. Bobby's shaking her head, yes, we have the Dania Beach Senior Citizens, and we don't have a designated area even for our seniors yet. We have been blessed, I want to use that word, with the fact that we can use once a month a park called IT Parker Community Center. I'm allowed it twice a month. And what I always see is this: if you keep the children's programs interesting, you keep the children off the streets, and you let the grown-ups go to work. Then afterwards, they come out to places like Lighthouse Church, where I also go to help mentor the children. And this is what's the most important thing right now. I don't even go past that, even though I understand some, and you better keep your eyes open for this. I understand that they might be trying to bring in PAL. Be sure that the money is there to float PAL in this city. Be sure, don't let that slip by you. Make sure that we got the money to float PAL. It's very popular. And if I remember, some woman stopped me in Publix the other day to tell me, I'm not really for PAL. We had it once and we were forced to let it go. I wasn't living here then, so I don't know if that was true or not. But I say, focus on the children. If you were at the last meeting that we had of this kind of gathering, we were informed of something I didn't know. We are high in crime. I almost fell off my chair. Next week, same time.
One of the main things that I would like to focus on too is bring a computer lab to the parks. So not only the sports, but we gotta enhance the computers and technology for the kids, and bring in a teacher so they can be taught different programs like programming and different things of that nature too, as well as sports. And I would like to see the Dania bring back the baseball team. For those who've been here for a while, they know what I'm talking about. So, I understand we have a master plan for the parks and everything. One thing I have to say about the master plan, I want to make sure that we have a equal development as we do all over the city. The same thing we see on the other side, we would like to see on this side, exercising stations, all this, all these good things, all these things are good, the development and stuff for the park, so that's good, but let's bring it back to the old field with the baseball team and, bring something new for the kids as far as the computer center.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, we're going to now switch. Okay. We're going to now switch to CRA. And this is a two-part, so please try to answer both of them in 2 minutes. Answer one with 1 minute, take another minute, answer the other. So get both of them in 2 minutes. And the question is, and we're going to start with you, Mr. Thomas. The question is, are you familiar with the cause and purpose of a CRA? So I guess we tested you guys' knowledge. Are you familiar with it? That's the first question. And then the second, they're asking you to assess the current director of the CRA. and the current director of the CRA. Okay, so the first question, and so everybody can hear me when your turn comes, you'll remember what I'm asking. Are you familiar with the purpose of the CRA? And then the second question is the assessment, I guess, of how it's doing. Whoever is running it, your director of the CRA. We're gonna start with Mr. Thomas.
All right, this is my humble opinion. It does not represent the views of Greater Austin. Yes, I'm aware of what the CRA is focused for, what it was designed for. Do I believe that it is functioning the way it was designed for the cause it was designed? No. Being a pastor in the city, working with our local pastors, trying to get some development, redevelopment, removal of slum and blight areas in our city, in the Northwest section in particular, has been difficult. Trying to work with the CRA director, get him out to the community to talk with landowners and all of those people that he could partner with in order to get things done in the city. I don't think it has been done. I think there's a lot of things that hasn't been transparent in the CRA. I think there's a lot of things that have been biasly done, if that's a word, in the CRA. And the community that is supposed to benefit from it is not benefiting from it.
Yes, the CRA, the Community Redevelopment Agency, a lot of cities have them, and our CRA is funded by the city of Dania Beach. I know that our CRA used to have a reserve, now they have nothing in reserve, which is a shame, actually. And they basically asked the city for funds. And, you know, CRA is there to control the dregs and the blight of the neighborhood. And repainting power boxes is not so much of controlling the blight in our neighborhood. You know, painting murals all over the place, you know, that's parks of recreation, if you ask me. And the CRA also handles a lot of and the CRA also, they handle a lot of the community engagement, a lot of the community activities, like the Seafood and Arts Festival, which kind of just came up out of a whim. They just said, let's have a Seafood and Arts Festival and throw away the Tomato Festival, because we're the CRA going to do something different. And then they asked for money, but really I think the Parks and Recreation can do that themselves. The CRA does have a purpose, and they have an important purpose with the city, but I feel like they are missing that purpose. They just want to make things look pretty and shiny, when really we need to improve what, you know, not the infrastructure, but the bones of the problems. You know, there's a lot of just poor looking lots. The city even owns lots themselves, and the CRA owns lots that look poor and are overgrown and they have trash going on. So these people who work on the CRA, you know, this is their living. So I don't want to talk down on them, but there's a lot of work that can be improved. A lot of work that can be improved. It's not just a position where you go around and look and say, where can we spend the money? And then you go and ask the city for $160,000. Like, how am I supposed to know $160,000 is supposed to paint 2 blocks of art? You know what I mean? I don't know. But I would much rather see, you know, fixing an elderly person's home that's been run down for 5-10 years. So there's a lot that the CRA has the power to do, but they aren't doing it properly.
Our last CRA director, Raquel Williams, she was great, but she had no cooperation. You all know that. And she's gone to a place and she's doing very good. She told me she's doing fine. Kids look great, everything's fine. Where is the Oasis project? Do you remember the Oasis project? What was its intentions? Its intentions were to brighten up the blight area. The people that live in there had to cooperate too. They had to pitch in and keep their property looking nice. Their incentive was to have the Oasis project. Some got mad because they thought we renamed the Oasis project of their neighborhood. It took forever to let them know, no, you're still in Dania, no, you're still in College Gardens, no, you're still wherever you're at. Why? Because we had this beautiful project. It went by the wayside. All right, you asked me a question that if I win this election, I have to deal with this man. But I would probably be wise enough to tell him to his face, you stink. You're not doing for the people what you're supposed to. The people that put you in that office, you're not doing your job. Would you kindly, on your own, do a blessed thing and leave your job? You're a reverend.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm not sorry you're a reverend,
no.
but you gave me a great word and it's going over good, so I'll stick with it.
Go ahead, sir. The thing about it is, no, I don't think the CRA is doing the best that they can do. The main thing is making sure you hold people accountable and give them deadlines. So, whatever is discussed or supposed to be done, we have to make sure we press them, hold them to it, and give them deadlines, and you don't allow people to give you fluff talk. So that's my main.
And what about the current?
That's what I said in the beginning, and, yeah, I don't think the guy is doing a good
Oh,
job.
okay, I'm sorry, all right. I gotta beat the guy, go ahead. Anyway, let me go to Jessica, go ahead, Jessica.
Yes, I know what the CRA is, Community Redevelopment Agency. And, do I believe they're doing the best to their ability? No. They should really help the small businesses, the streets of Dania Beach, enhance the look of the businesses, help the small people that need assistance, put more money towards that for those who can't afford to enhance their businesses, their look, and again, the facades, to show that we are not deadbeats here in Dania Beach, not, I don't want to say dirtbags, but still, push the volume up a little bit, we need assistance. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So at least from my, I want to say experience, sounds like all of you are saying that CRA needs an upgrade.
Yes.
So, you know, two of you are going to be on the commission, so I think y'all gonna get some upgrades or some changes when it comes to the CRA. I want to take a moment now to ask some questions that were given to me, and I'm only going to give them 1 minute on these, just answer them, and then we can move to the next one, and then we'll get back to the CRA. The first one is, where did I start? Start.
You stop it.
Okay, so you're going to start, AJ. All right, the question is, what would you do to help the children of Dania Beach with reported reading and math scores the worst in 50 years? What would you do? You got 1 minute. If you don't know what to do, you just go pass it. But I need you to answer. You need me to read it again?
No, that's fine, I understood you. Well, that's very disheartening to hear. And it starts from the top down, okay? It starts with the state, and then it goes down to the county, goes down to our city, to the school boards, the individual schools, the administration, the staff, principal, all the way down to the teacher. And, and it starts from the top down. And then, who has the most interaction with your child? The teacher. And the teacher, unfortunately, they get these hard to attain test scores that they need to meet. And it goes totally off subject of what they're actually teaching these students. So the standardized testing, I'm not totally a proponent of that in the first place. I believe there's other methods that we can do that too. And then I don't believe that these teachers are trained to teach our children how to get good scores on these tests. If you can teach these children to be good test takers, then they probably have a better chance. Thank you.
Okay. The blessed woman. You want me to read it again?
No, I'm thinking it's starting in the classroom. I'm thinking, are they overcrowded? Do they need to have meetings with their own teachers? They have to ask questions. They have to help the children, that's for sure, because after what you just said, that threw me for a loop. I didn't know it was that bad.
I didn't know either. It was given to me and I'm asking you now.
No, really and truly, I think it starts in the classroom. Well, first of all, it starts parenting too. You are the father. You better be the father, if not, mother's coming after you. I think it starts in the house, and then it goes to the classroom. Maybe the children are having difficulties. Maybe they are complaining to the teacher, and maybe she's not providing what they need. I don't know.
All right, thank you.
One of the things I would do is work with the local teachers in the community at College Elementary and get some of those teachers to work one-on-one with the students who have in trouble, as well as implement some other programs like Kaplan and things like that. Bring that into the city where we can have something where the students can go and get intensified training and skills to help them in this situation. So, the short answer to that is work with the local teachers. The long-term answer is to bring in programs that will specify that on the problems that they're having, so that way we can get we can get better statistics on that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Jesse.
I think it's true. It does start from the household. Number two, it also starts from the principals. If the principals are not directing the teachers properly and giving them guidance and support, how are they going to be positive and bring it to the students? And the students, it's all about them. Do they have proper education? Are they in the right classrooms? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll say when I grew up, I would bring my homework home. My mom couldn't help me. She didn't understand it. But St. Ruth, Reverend Barr had a program. He was a math teacher. He had a program where he would invite students to come in for extra tutoring, free of charge. So programs like that, I think it starts at the home. It's the parents' responsibility. And that's what we struggle with in the school board, is that the issue is pushed on the teacher. But at the end of the day, it is the parents' responsibility. The teacher is there to reiterate and to reinforce. But I think we need more programming to help get our children on reading level.
Okay, thank you, sir. Did we cover everyone on that question? Okay, so Chicky, we're back to you now. And I'm gonna give you the next question. This is regarding overdevelopment. And the question is, would you vote against the residents on how they feel about overdevelopment in their neighborhood or big projects in their neighborhood? That's the question.
Fast and Furious, never.
Okay. I knew you were gonna be fast on that. You did what? You did what? That's all I want. Just tell me how you did it. You
Only
said,
one, thank you.
I gotta say the same thing. I was never going against the resident, because that's who we working for.
thank you. All right. I don't think you're gonna need that for this one. I just want to ask yes or no, or how you feel, and we can move on. Go ahead, Justin.
Overdevelopment, I'm so against, and that's just my own personal opinion. What's happening in Dania Beach, I don't agree with. Slower development, I can understand, but I think it has to be planned out properly, placed in different locations, and understand that we are the residents, and if it's getting overpopulated or overdeveloped, where are we gonna live? Thank you.
Thank you.
I would say no. I would never vote against a community that is coming out, against a development that is going in their area. So it says resident, but I think it means community. If you have a whole community coming out against
Right.
one project, but definitely making sure they're informed about what is going on, what is happening. But if a community is saying no, I'm going with the community.
Mr. VP.
So the question was, can you say it again, please? I'm sorry. I just wondering.
The question was regarding overdevelopment, would you vote against the residents or community on how they feel about the projects in their neighborhood?
No. Overdevelopment is a bad word in itself. So you certainly don't want to say that to the residents. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. That's what you were gonna say? Okay. I was gonna give her, she was so quick, I was gonna give her another few seconds. She said he said it, so we're gonna move on. Yeah, but all of our communities really face the same issues. You know, I live in Allendale, we face the same issues that everybody's talking about. And we have overdevelopment on one side, and underdevelopment on the other. Or no development, I should say. But, so all these are common, and I think commissioners should listen to the people. That's who put you in office, okay? All right, so let's talk a little bit about affordable housing. That has come up, or housing in general. The first question, where are we now? We're back to Mr. Morris. We're gonna start with you. Regarding affordable housing rent rising, do you have any plans, strategies to help this problem that's all over South Florida?
Well, one of the things I want to focus on is low-income housing, because it's a difference between the low-income housing and affordable housing. When you have the low-income housing, you can get government involved and, help you do some things when you have the low-income housing. So I think making sure that we have low-income housing that's going to not displace people. We can have making sure when these developers come in and do certain things that we don't forget about the community who needs the low-income housing. That's very important. So that's one of the things that I would focus on. We got to have that, because as far as the rent is concerned, we definitely have to make sure we're working with the residents, because that's important too, because I'm in a situation right now where I'm helping someone to try to get housing as we speak, because the rent is so high. So I'm gonna be one of those commissioners that's for the people, that's gonna really make a difference in your everyday life, not just hide behind the desk and don't be amongst the people. You have to be out in your community, talking with the community, knowing what people needs are and wants are. One of the programs that I had and I was working with, Chicky can tell you this, I work with BSO, assisting the elderly, making sure that they have food, to eat and stuff like that. But all in the short, we got to make sure we focus on low income housing.
Okay, thank you, sir. Go ahead, Jesse.
Affordable housing is tough for me. I am a renter. I've been in Dania for quite some time. And I'm a little concerned because of how the property values are going up, taxes are going up, rents are gonna go up. I don't know if any of you rent, like, you will soon see your prices go up, especially with the new development, the corporate apartments that are going to be ranging from 1,800 to 2,100. That's just for sorry. That's for one bedroom. Then it ranges for $4,245 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Who can afford that? Me personally? No. I don't know if you all can, but it's making me a little nervous, and I really don't want to see this happen, and I don't want to be pushed out of town just because I can't afford to live here. Thank you.
I think it's a huge problem, as we stated before. Our church owns a duplex, and one of our residents, in that duplex, an older gentleman, has been there, since the church took over the duplex. He only pays $675 in rent. Is that hurting our church? Absolutely, right? But the benefit of that is we were able to go to the property appraiser and get a tax exemption because we were low income, providing low income housing for an elderly person. So reaching out to our landowners, those people who have those kinds of properties, we may not be able to make the high rises those, but targeting those small duplexes because we have a lot of them in the city, and trying to talk to the landowners to do something like that for the residents. The CRA owns a duplex. Fixing that up, that could be another form of low-income housing. But there's opportunities out there, but we have to go get them. They're not going to fall in our lap. We have to explore, we have to investigate, and we have to do what we can to make it happen.
Okay, yes, when it comes to affordable housing, our city has a HUD program set up to help others purchase their first single-family home. They have an opportunity to buy it. But unfortunately, the prices are so high that I think we've only done that, less than, I think, a half dozen times in the last 3 or 4 years. It doesn't happen, but unfortunately it does. I know the CRA also put up single-family homes that they built in Northwest Dania to have affordable rentals, so that's one positive. Me, when it comes to rentals, I was a renter here in Dania myself. I rented right off US 1, Grove Pond Garden, and then when I purchased my property, I became a landlord. I have a tenant who's a Vietnam veteran. I haven't raised his rent in probably 3 or 4 years. Is it hurting me a little? Yes. But it's hard to tell a landlord when their property taxes are rising, their insurance costs are rising, the cost of living is rising, just say, hey, can you keep your rent down? Unfortunately, I have to afford this property or I'm gonna lose my mortgage and it's gonna be taken away from me. So if you could get incentives for offering a lower rental rate, then yes, I'm all for that. If there's some sort of program that can provide that, but I don't see that being done on a wide scale in any form. So it's a sensitive subject when it comes to raising property rents, because if you own a property that you could rent for $4,000 a month, but the city tells you to be a nice guy and rent for $2,000 a month, and you're losing $24,000 a year, who are you really hurting and who are you really benefiting? So it's easy to say, get affordable housing, lower the rents, give them incentives, but everything that goes into that, being a property owner or landowner, is a lot more complex and a lot more difficult than you think. A lot of it takes just the goodness of your heart. But when it comes to these new construction, these new development, that's attracting a different type of crowd. It's not the old Dania crowd. I would never move in one of these high rises they're asking $4,500 a month for a 3-bedroom house in there. So we have to know who we're attracting and who we're taking care of in Dania. Thank you.
Hold on. Yeah. When you're talking, if you just speak up a little, some of you speak up a little, because they're trying to hear it on the platforms. Jiggy, did you answer that question?
No, I didn't answer it, and believe it or not,
I'm gonna need you to go into the mic so that they can hear you.
I didn't answer that question, but I've been reading it 100 times over, not the question. I think that we talk, but nobody really listens to us, including the developers. I understand the commission meeting the other night approved a 4,000 units more in the CRA part of the city, which is Federal Highway Sterling, and I understand, well, it's part of it. Anyway, let's get on with this. The rents are starting at $2,400 for a one bedroom. That's what I meant when we first started this meeting, and I was talking about myself. What's affordable for him may not be affordable for you. So now let's put it towards jewelry. This is my idea. Now, this may be off the wall, but I think it's good. You know when you go to buy a ring, and you're buying a ring, and the ring is $2,000, and you're not happy because you only got $1,800, right? So you work at it, you work at it, you work at it, and finally you're ready to walk out, which comes to the 3 votes. You're not going to approve that condominium, all right? So now you've got your 3 votes, and you got it down to the price you could afford to pay, all right? Now we're all in the same ballpark together. You gotta hold these developers' feet to the fire, even if you gotta get them to incentivize, how you say that word, to give so many floors of that to low income or to affordable housing. Oh, they're gonna hate your guts. Oh, they're gonna hate you for doing that. Because they already took away your department stores and lunches on the bottom floor. And I actually, while I'm out 2 years, I can do this. I said to the guy, hey, you were supposed to put in little coffee shops and a place where you could buy a necktie for the guy you must hate or something. And instead, you took it all away. Why? Now, he won't let me finish, so I can't tell you what the answer was.
Where you going, you probably don't need to say it. Okay, did everybody cover that question? Okay. I want to come back though to, I think it was Mr. Thomas talking. You said CRA owns property. One of the gentlemen said that. Okay. So I want to start with you this time, and I want to ask, what are your thoughts or plans of change regarding the CRA not currently prioritizing affordable housing or low-income housing, all the things that we before mentioned? So what are your thoughts, or do you have plans to change it once you get on the commission?
I think the first thing would be to get an understanding and overview of where the money is going. Because for me, watching the city commission, they're continuously to ask for employees, for assistants, for all of those things, people to go out to survey property and all of those things. So really looking at where their money is going, if it's not going in the direction that I believe that it should go, or based on the vision of the city, bringing that to the commission, laying it all on the table and figuring out a game plan on moving forward. Because there's more that can get done with less people, in my opinion.
Okay. We're gonna come to you, AJ.
Okay, so this has to do with the CRA and affordable housing. What they
Right.
can do about it?
According to the question, it's implying that the CRA does not prioritize what you've been talking about.
Okay.
It doesn't prioritize affordable housing, low-income housing, subsidizing rent, so, and I was a business, so I know it, and they don't prioritize it. They don't prioritize. What's your thoughts on it? And if you're on the dais, do you plan on doing something about it?
Well, as I said about the CRA before, it's easy to drive around town, look around, and say, hey, your painting would look good there. You know, we could repaint these boxes. But what's hard to do is tackle the issue with affordable housing. It's, you know, it's something that you really have to focus on, you have to do studies on, and you have to see what, in your power as a community redevelopment agency, what can you really do to solve this problem? So, in looking at the city of Dania Beach, I know that the CRA alone owns a good amount of property. Okay, I said before. They can, it's just sitting there, it's vacant land. They can develop it. They can develop it half, business, half residential. They can get zoning exemptions probably from the city. They can get special incentives from the city by developing and selling to a developer who can provide affordable housing. And also, if you're going to have a HUD program for people to buy an affordable house for, I think like the limit's $350,000 or $400,000 now, then build a $350,000, $400,000 house that someone could come and use the HUD program and buy. Everything can be done in-house. Everything can be done in-house to make affordable housing. And okay, overpopulation is an issue. So we don't have to stack a bunch of people in affordable housing. We can have less residents in decent homes, and developers don't need to make as much money. Instead of making $500,000, you can still make a pretty penny, you can make a couple $100,000 and walk away, and everybody's happy. We don't have as much of an impact on the community. Everybody's making money, and we're moving forward, and now that vacant lot is now being used as a residential unit, and it's affordable housing.
All right. Okay. Let me ask this before we close. How much of Dania is inside the CRA? Does anybody know that?
It's like hundreds of blocks.
Is it
It's like 2 square miles.
2 square miles?
Something like that. It's a certain, like Chicky said, it's from Sterling over all the way west of 441. It goes all the way to 441. Yeah, and it's
All right. Just curious. You need me to repeat the question
The CRA?
about the prioritizing.
Well, I don't know whether the people know it or not, but the CRA,
Can you talk, well, I know you talk loud.
all right, the commission,
There you go.
the commission, once you're elected, all right, is the commission for the people, and then you're also the commission for the CRA. They are in charge, they hold both seats, in other words, well, you must know, right? They hold both seats.
Right.
The one on the regular commission meeting that you go to, and they're also the commissioners for the CRA, yet they're separate. Okay? When we vote on something, right, we can vote on how to hire. Right, that's what we can do. We can vote, but the CRA, we cannot tell them who to vote, who is the head of it, while you're seated on the commission until you go then to the meeting. It's so backwards that it's unbelievable. Sometimes I wish we were 2 separate groups. Maybe the other group can work harder on getting the proper housing for what our needs are. But those vacant lots, I think that we're maybe guessing a little bit too high, but I think our mayor's daughter would know how much of our area is in the CRA. But it's enough to build on it, and it's enough to make even one family happy. Why wouldn't you do it? Why look anywhere else? Or Mr. this or Mr. that, who wants to put up his 14-story high-rise? Let's look into you. You own it. What's it sitting there doing? Like he says, growing grass. Really? They aren't looking into the property we already own that we have the right to build on. And of course, we'd say yes right away if you got the votes.
All right. The question is, what are your thoughts and plans of change regarding the CRA not currently prioritizing affordable housing?
Well, it's simple to me. What I would do is have a meeting, and say, hey, this is my plan, and, I wanna go this way, direct them and let them know your plan and hold them accountable. The problem is, we don't hold people accountable, to what the plan is. It's been many a times when I went to city hall meetings and, things being put out, and developers were supposed to do certain things, and they say, oh, we'll do that later, we'll do that later. But guess what? Later never comes. So what you do is you make them accountable for what you want to do. If you're an elected official, you say, hey, this is what I want to do, let's get it done, let's get a timeline going, and it's simple as that. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Beth.
That's a great question, but I will pass, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so our time is fast approaching. We decided. So what I'm gonna do now is, where did I start last year? So we're gonna be down to you, Mr. Bovine. It's constantly come up that you need 3 votes. Okay, you need 3 votes. And I'm forming this question, okay, because I keep hearing you need 3 votes. So what I want to know from you is, tell us how, if you have a vision, tell us and the community that's watching how you will influence the other commissioners to now vote according to your vision.
Well, as a person that's been a part of different organizations, we was taught, we learned how to be team players.
Okay.
One of the things that you have to do is always be open and honest and transparent and speak from the heart. Let them know why you want to do a particular thing that you're trying to do. And I gotta say this since we're in the house of God. You gotta pray for number one before you do anything. But you also, like I said, you have to talk to, your commission and lay your plan out and say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. This is, for the betterment of the city. And this is why. You tell them why you want to do it. And hopefully you got a nice commission and y'all can work together and get it done as a team. Because without working as a team, we can talk about 100 ideas up here. If we not willing to work with each other as a commission, because over the years I've seen the commission not work with each other.
Right.
And that's one thing I'm about is being unity, having unification, unity in the community. So I want to leave you with that, unity in the community and unity with the commission, We got to be on one accord to make positive change in the community. So that's how I would handle it. You got to talk with people with passion and let them know that, hey, this is, we working for the community, we working for the people. So if they're a good commission, they'll get on board with you so we can do what we need to do for the community.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
We'll come to Jesse.
First of all, you have to work with each other and come together as a team and brainstorm and come up with the best resolutions to help get everybody on board. With that being said, it's all about the community and the importance of sticking together as a team and making sure that everybody's making the best decisions that there are.
Thank you.
I think it starts with the community voting for people who share their values. Somebody said it earlier. We can't just vote for people just because they are friends with somebody that's already up there or they have name recognition or any of those things. But we really have to know what they value. As stated before, nothing gets passed without the 3 votes. If that is the case, then we have to make sure that the people that we're putting on the city commission is able to work with the people that are there or the people that will be there, that they have character, that they have values. One of our city commissions, and I won't name call, but there was an opportunity for them to go in a different direction because of the relationship. But they made a decision that because my conscience, and it was something that the community did not want, I cannot vote against the community because of my conscience. We need people with good conscience and that understands everyone's point of view. Because if we don't, we will have people attacking people and voting against or for things simply because they don't like the individual that is presenting it. And we cannot have that in our city commission.
Yes, when it comes to decisions being made by the city commission and communication with the other commissioners regarding the decisions we make, what I will do and what everyone should do is you need to thoroughly research what we're voting on. You know, you need to do your back, you need to do your homework. Unfortunately, this is a job, we get paid for it. I know it might be part-time, but you know, I'm treated as a full-time job. You need to thoroughly research everything you're voting on. You need to talk to the city manager. You need to talk to the residents. You need to see the impact that this is having on the community. I'm not going to vote just because I hear, oh, this is a good vote for it. I understand that on a commission, it's a lot of give and take. I understand. You know, you have to get along. You want to get things accomplished. If you just fight the whole time, you're not going to get much accomplished. And yeah, you do have to give a little, and you do have to take when you can, okay? But transparency is the biggest thing. First of all, you can't communicate with the commissioners about policy behind closed doors. You have to do everything out front, in front of the community. So when it comes to communicating with them, I'm going to be letting no one out there. This is how I feel. This is what we can get done. This is my opinion on the current vote. And I could, with education, I feel that you can sway people in the right direction. And that's what I plan on doing with my fellow commissioners.
Thank you.
You've seen this in the past year with the bridge. It was you that made the difference, not the commission. You made the difference. You know that. You don't know how it would have gone if the community didn't come out and fight the bridge to nowhere. Because if the casino thought I would have voted yes on building a bridge just to go there, they're nuts. Ain't gonna happen. Unfortunately, with the sunshine law, and in some cases, fortunately, we're not allowed to talk to each other. I can't call up Tamara if I'm on the commission. I couldn't, I was there with her, and say, listen, Tamara, I'm thinking about voting no, but I need 3 votes. Jessica, will you be the 3rd vote? Oh, how easy it would be. Or if I went out and bought her a dress, what do I know, right? Anybody to sway that vote. You have more power than any of us.
We should.
You better believe it. And what you did to stop that bridge, which to me was part of a gentrification, if you ask me, what you did is why it's not built. It's not built. But if you haven't got the 3 votes, anything you scream about isn't going to be heard. If you don't have the 3 votes, you need them. Yet it takes 4 to fire somebody, like in a commission up there on the high-paid jobs of the city. Takes 4. Don't take 3. How come? I wonder why. But there it is. You make the difference. So I'm telling you, follow through. Even if I don't win, keep doing what you're doing.
Did everybody answer that question? Okay, our time has been spent. We're at that time, we're gonna allow you now 2 minutes to close. And I'd like to let the ladies go first, because you're blessed. I'm gonna let you go first. Each person will get 2 minutes, and we'll start with my girl here, Chicky, you go, then Jessica, you will go, then Mr. Goldwire, you will go, AJ, and I'm letting the preacher go last, okay?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, never in 8 years that I ran did I ever hear the audience say that they would like to see Federal Highway the way it is today. Think about what I'm saying. Never did they say that. They want to see people walking on the sidewalks. You don't have it. You haven't even got a sidewalk. You got buildings, you don't have little boutiques and little coffee shops. This was never your vision. Change your commission. No.
No?
No, you know why? I believe you all got your mind made up who you're voting for now. I don't know what this November 8th date is, all right? But you know my name. I don't do that. Oh, vote for me? No.
Suit yourself.
Thank you.
I do have concerns on traffic. We don't even have our snowbirds here yet, and the influx of the new buildings, we're not gonna be able to travel. We're gonna have to reroute travel, as well as what's our next step? Can we reroute traffic, because it takes a long time to get to work between Griffin Road and Sterling Road. And it makes me nervous because I have to work. We're gonna have all these people coming into town, and what are we gonna do? Build flying cars like the Jetsons? But yes, I have concerns on several different topics, and once again, I thank you for your time.
Yes, yes, we are at a very important point, and a very important point in Dania Beach. We have to really be careful and be wise on who we put in office at this particular time. You need someone that's always gonna be a representative of you, and someone who you can always count on and get in contact with, and someone who's with moral to good character, and that will always think about the people first. With that being said, God bless everybody tonight. Thank you for coming out, and I'll be.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
All right, thank all of you for coming out and staying tonight. I really appreciate you coming. Thanks for the opportunity to let me introduce myself to you. Some of you are already introduced to before. A lot of people say I love the city. My love for the city is unconditional, all right? It's easy to say I love the city, but I have a thorough knowledge of the history of Dania Beach. I know our current policies. I know where we were. I know where we are, and I'm trying to control where we're going. I wanted to come and join the commission so I could serve the community and have a right for my reason in the city. I don't have any chums on the commission board. You think I want to watch commission meetings all the time? No, but I feel like I'm qualified and prepared to handle the situations that arise on the commission meeting. I don't have friends on the commission. I don't have a running mate in this race. I'm my own man, but I have a deep-rooted history in this city. And it's extremely important to me. That's why I'm throwing my hat in the arena. I'm going to represent you. I'm going to listen to everything you have to say. You come right to my office. I don't care. Walk on in. We can talk. Just don't, if I got a client, then I got to leave. But you just have to wait in the waiting room, all right? But still, my roots and my love for this city extend far beyond a lot of imagination, actually. And I just look forward to serving the city and representing you as best I can with education, with experience, and with integrity. Thank you.
Thank you all again for coming out tonight. It really means a lot to have the community input in this election. I believe this is a very vital, our city is at a vital point. We are on the brink of something that we've never seen before, and we have the opportunity to control the narrative. By putting somebody on the city commission, by filling those 2 seats with somebody that share your values, that understand. The city commissioners don't only represent one part of the city, but they represent the entire part of Dania Beach. So it has to be somebody that is unbiased, that is for people, that loves people, that will see you at the grocery store, have a conversation with you. We've had some local officials like that. Miss Bobby Grace. I can pull up at her house at any point in time and knock on her door and go in and sit down and ask questions. And that's the kind of people we need in City Hall, because they are the kind of people that care, they understand, and they are willing to serve. A great writer says it like this: before you tell me what you're going to do, show me what you've already done. All my life, I've served people. I've served seniors, I've served youth. They are the heart of what I do, to make sure that our future is intact. I am committed to working for the residents of Dania Beach, every resident. I think there is a great opportunity within our charter that needs to be reviewed. I think there's great opportunity in how the city has organized certain things to make it run the way they want it to run. And those things need to be looked at and examined and changed. I'm committed to being your city commission for as long as God has breath in my body to represent you as your local city commissioner.
I want to thank all of you and thank all of you great people of Dania Beach on behalf of Faith in Florida and Les Robbins. It's been our pleasure to serve with you tonight as your moderator, and you have a beautiful night. I think that's it, and that's it. God bless you.